Welcome to another amazing episode of the Quantum Abundance Show, the interview show which is curated for the entrepreneurs, trainers, and coaches to have an abundant lifestyle by having an abundance mindset. Well, how many of you have gone through sleepless nights? How many of you feel that when you wake up early in the morning, you don't feel fresh, you feel tired? How many of you feel that sleep is something which is very important for our health? Well, if you have any questions regarding health, regarding your sleep, you can drop that question in the comment box. Because today we have an amazing guest on board who is going to give you gainful insights about sleep patterns and how you can improve your lifestyle by improving your sleep by a method. So, without further delay, let's welcome one of our favorite sleep coach, Manohar Grandhi, on board. Hi Manohar, how are you doing?
Yeah, hi Arnab. I'm doing good.
Great, great. So, how was your day?
Yeah, it was really good.
Nice. Yeah. So, can you tell our audience about your story, how you have transformed yourself and have brought transformation in other people also?
Yeah. So, yeah, before I start my story, I want to really thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my story. Yeah, so coming to my story, quick introduction about me. My name is Manohar and I am from Hyderabad. So, I have been working in the software industry since the last 15 years. Uh, Basically, in the year 2019 timeframe was when I was struggling with sleep. So what happened was, uh, right from my teenage years, like you mentioned, Arnab, I did have couple of occasional sleepless nights here and there. That definitely happens because that's part of life, wherein you life always throws us some surprises here and there, and it happened. But then with that, actually, what happened was my sleep got conditioned in a particular way. So the way I used to approach sleep is right from my teenage days. So I always wanted the same pillow. I wanted the same blanket. I didn't want anything to be changed, especially related to my sleep. So it was like the setting should be the same. There should be no power cut. There should be no one who is snoring beside the room or somewhere. So that was the way I was worried about. So yeah, things were there, but I just managed. Okay, but once or twice in 3 months or 1 month, I used to have these things. But back in 2019, what happened was I was going through personal issues and, of course, professional issues because of a few other things. Like I didn't have some satisfaction with myself. And what happened was I started reading books. Okay, so what I used to do is 10:30 this time frame. What I used to do is after finishing my dinner and putting my kid to sleep, I used to start reading books. So what used to happen was I used to read for 15-20 minutes initially, and that was done. But then what happened was you if you pretty sure well know, right, 15-20 minutes you cannot finish a book. So it will be something or the other, it will be unfinished only. And then what used to happen is, though I switched off the lights, my mind was always on the unfinished task. So what will be the next? What will be next? So that was the thing that was going on in my mind. So I felt better than turning and tossing. Let's wake up and finish the book and then go to sleep. So this actually slowly became a obsession kind of a thing. So that was like, without reading a book, I wouldn't even go to sleep. So that it turned into that kind of an obsession. And then what happened one day, Arnab, was I was casually watching TED Talk, where in that TED Talk, the narrator says that, especially, if you see in the whole nature, other than human beings, no one changes the sleep timing. So, for example, people, I mean, animals are like daytime, and nighttime they sleep. Bats are nocturnal, or some animals are nocturnal. So they are wake up in the night, and then they sleep in the day. Only human beings have this tendency. And basically, like, if you see 200 years back, when there was no electricity, all we had to do was just, if there was lights were done, we had to go to sleep. So with electricity, we started working like 24 hours. And especially within these 2 decades, with this internet boom, it is like there is no way, I mean, there is no restriction kind of a thing. Like you can, right now we are having a show, a talk at 8 p.m. It need not be the case. You can talk with an Australian or American client at your 12 o'clock or your 1 o'clock. It could be any time. So this is what is happening. So what human beings have done is, with technology advancing, we have completely changed the equations of the nature, wherein uh, we are sleeping at the time we wish, and we are waking up at the time we wish. So this is what he is saying. And basically, when we have so many things to do, so it is like a never ending to do list, Arnab. So you have office, you have to catch with the latest entertainment trends, you have so many things to do. So then what, the easiest and the most obvious thing that goes for a toss for most people is sleep. We just compromise on sleep, and then we think that we can do that quota in the weekend. So that is what used to happen. But that was not happening. What was happening was, I realized that I was consciously cutting down on sleep, and that started creating anxiety in me. And when anxiety started increasing, the biggest thing with sleep, Arnab, is, uh, the more you try to sleep, the harder it is to sleep. So sleep can happen only when you're effortlessly trying. So, for example, let's say like you want to become an interview host. The more interviews you take, the more you practice, the better you get it. But the harder you try to sleep, that the harder it is to sleep. So for sleep, it is a case of absolute surrender, wherein you just lie down on the bed and focus on relaxing yourself. So that was not happening. So I was trying, and then I was seeing, like, okay, like what is the hack? So in YouTube or anywhere, you will see like hacks, like in 30 seconds you will fall into sleep, kind of. So many videos will be there. So then I used to try them, but then with every attempt I tried, right, I used to even get more and more desperate. And this actually fueled added even more fuel into the fire. So that is how I went from, yeah, having occasional sleepless nights to having anxious sleeping nights. So that is where I went into that.
Right. When you were saying, I just got into that thing, that idea that animals, okay, after all, we humans are social animals, and we also
Okay.
are orchestrated in such way that we sleep at night, and we do our works in the day. And when there was no electricity, people don't dive that deep, that yeah, it is the cause of the development which has caused us to become more robotic than being a normal human, right?
Mhm. Yes.
So that's one thing. Because I still remember during my childhood days also, like whenever we were given books or such to study, we used to snore and sleep, isn't it? So like even certain subjects we didn't like, we used to get that sleep during that time as a kid, right? So
Correct.
with time, I think that this thing of being an adult has been given in such a way that when you become an adult, you grow horns, additional horns with yourself, so that you have to work more and do things. Okay,
Mhm.
so that's one part. Well, Manoj, can you tell us something that, see, sleep is very vital to all of us, but many a times what happens, as you correctly said, that a lot of work we do, right? People have this idea that late risers are not good. Okay, we should wake up early in the morning. So, any
Yeah.
tips you want to give for the late risers? Because even sleeping late affects our health badly, isn't it? So, any
Uh,
tips for them?
yeah. So yeah, that is true to a certain extent, Arthur, that late rising is considered as lazy. But then when it comes to sleep, I mean, see, like every human being is a completely different person. So, I mean, though you may, so there is a concept called as chronotype in sleep also. So, the way it works is few people are called as lion chronotype. So, lions are basically animals which wake up early in the morning. They do their hunting, I mean, have their this thing, and then they sleep much early. So these are the early risers and the early sleepers. So, and then there is another thing called as fox, and then there is another thing called as owl. So some people are night owls. So for them the productivity actually, I mean, see, a night owl cannot, if your chronotype is of type night owl, right? You cannot be productive when you wake up at 6 o'clock. Whereas if I am mostly a lion, okay, lion chronotype person. So my productivity time will be something around 7. I mean, early morning 7 to 8 or 9 kind of a thing. But then if you ask me to read something after 8:39, it can't happen. So in fact there's a TED talk also given by a person called as Michael Bruce, where what he talks is, you we human beings tend to completely classify everyone with the same brush, saying that early rising is good. But he was giving an example of a lady who was a night owl, and she used to work just like waking up early and starting the day early. But then she was never interested in be doing that. Instead, when she started her work much late, that is when they saw a productivity gain. And then they saw that she was performing to her best. And this is what he was trying to tell, saying that you should know your chronotype when it comes to sleep and sleep according to that. So that is the one suggestion. And coming to your suggestion, Arnab, which is about if you want to wake up early, mm, like I was reading a book by Ankur Wariku. Ankur Wariku is one of the leading content creator, and he does a lot of things. He has a YouTube channel also. But basically, what he told in his book is he was also a late riser, so something like a 8:39ish time frame. So what he has done is, uh, let's say for example, 8 is your wake up time. Okay, 8 is your wake up time when your alarm goes. Okay, so what he did is, instead of changing from 8 to 5, what he did is, he from 8 he just changed his alarm clock 10 minutes only. Okay, 10 minutes earlier, 7:50 he did it. He did it for 1 week, 2 weeks, and then from 7:50 he did it to 7:40. From 7:40 he did it to 7:30. So this is in an increments of 10, 10, 10. When you do the small increments, that is when you will be able to adjust your sleep. Of course, when you are reducing the time by 10, 10, 10, you should also go back to sleep 10 minutes early. So that goes without saying. So that is the way to adjust your sleep, uh, rather than forcibly saying that I want to be an early riser. So the problem with that is, the way it works is, let's say that you get your maximum restoration or maximum benefit of sleep at 5 a.m., let's say, and then you forcibly wake yourself. So you have lost your maximum restoration, and then the purpose of sleep itself is defeated. So that is why you shouldn't be painting everything with the same brush, saying that early risers are good and late risers are bad. So that is my take on this.
So this is something
Arnab, you're there?
sorry for that. Manohar, are you there?
Yes, I am
Am
there.
I audible?
Yes, 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 yes. You are audible, Arnab.
Yeah, there was a glitch. Okay, I'm sorry for that. Okay, so Manar, I think this myth has been broken. Okay, that means late risers are considered as lazy, and most of the time
Yeah.
they are considered by most people to be lazy, but it's basically their pattern, their type. Okay, that matters the most, right? So
Yes.
when it comes to when it comes to a very strong purpose, like everyone is working hard, right? We often see that there is no work life balance, and people, like, means I'm talking about married couples only mostly. What
Mhm.
happens,
Yeah.
they don't get much time, because everyone knows there is a
Yes.
time, like they come back, they have to spend their time together, there has to be some
Mhm.
kind of intimacy also. But at the
Yes.
same time, what happens, due to the work pressure, due to the a lot of pressure, people often tend to sleep less, right?
Correct. Mhm.
And because of that, when they wake up in the morning, they don't feel that freshness, they feel that numbness, and again, oh, we have to go for work and all. So
Yeah.
you have a system, right? Can you please tell us the system by which you can help people to have a fresh sound sleep?
Okay. So Arnab, the first thing which I recommend is to set boundaries. Okay. So be it whatever be the case. Okay. So for example, let's say like I'm in fact when you were child, you remember, right? I mean, in fact, when I was a child, my school used to start at 9 and end at 3:30. So this is the time limit of boundaries which we are setting for our school. So similarly, we have to, yeah, I know with this work pressure and so many things to do, we have so many things to do. I'm not denying that. But you have to set a boundary for yourself. Like, for example, let's say that 11 is the time you go to sleep. So 10:30 onwards, you have to see, in the book Why We Sleep by Matt Walker, the suggestion which Matt Walker gives is everyone has an alarm to wake up, but no one puts an alarm to say it's time to sleep. We have to start putting an alarm saying that it's time to sleep. Okay, that is the first suggestion. And then most important thing is you have to set boundaries and then say that, okay, I will work. It's not that I will not work, but after 10:30, it could be, it's my boundary. Let's say 10:30 is my time. So your time could be 12, Arnab. So it is totally optional. But when you say like 12 is your boundary, you should say that 12 is the time where I shut down my work and then I focus on the sleeping way. I mean, focus on sleeping. So in sleeping, what you can do is the one of the biggest thing, like you told, like is a never ending thing. Like work is a never ending thing. So one of the thing which you can do is something called as planning for the next day. So for example, tomorrow, like you were talking to me offline, that you have an interview to do, then you have to for the next interview, what are the questions you need to ask, or what is the preparation you need to do. That is the some things you need to plan, and just plan for the next day, and then focus on any relaxation activities, Arnab. So for me it could be meditation, for you it could be just listening to some soft music, or just going for a small walk in your home itself, going for a small walk, listening to music, drawing. So drawing is something which you can do. So focus on unwinding. So just like we focus on starting the day and running, right, we have to also focus on creating some sleep rituals. So sleep rituals are, it could be very simple, like changing your night clothes, going for a doing your brush, and then getting your bed ready, and then focusing only on relaxation. And this is one technique which many people have recommended, is creating a sleep log for the things that you have to plan for the day. So that is something which I suggest.
Right, right. No, it's a step by step way by which I feel that it is basically the habit that we need to create, right? Like
Yes.
it can't happen on one day or a week. So
Correct.
we just need
Correct.
to continuously keep it rolling. So this is amazing. Like I want to share this with our viewers that, see, everything starts with an action, and I feel that when sleep is something which we all have, means I still would say that, yeah, I sometimes I too also do ruckus things and not sleep on time. Okay, not set the boundaries of sleeping during that time. So similarly, all of you, I feel that it's time that we focus on ourselves. We should love ourselves, and when we love ourselves, we should also take care of our body and our mind, and for that, sleep is very important.
Correct.
So, uh, Manohar, can you tell us something? Can you tell our audience something more about, like, sometimes when we sleep, we have dreams. Sometimes when we sleep, we don't see dreams. It's all dependent on the subconscious mind. No, so
Mhm.
what is the importance of watching a dream? How does our body reacts to it?
Okay. Uh, Yeah, so sleep is something, Arnab, which not much of scientific study has been done. It has been done in the last 2 decades itself, but the few theories which that have been suggested is the way, like you rightly pointed, like our subconscious mind does a lot of things, but then the way it is there is our subconscious mind at the end of the day has to rearrange the patterns in a way such that you can easily understand. So that is the reason why you start having dreams. Okay, so let's say, I mean, dreams will definitely be there, Arnav. In a short, dreams will definitely be there. It only depends on whether you remember it or not. So that is the part. So dreams are needed. One reason is our brain is basically designed for us to survive, and it wants to avoid any danger. So for that reason, it you get those dreams where something wrong is happening. Okay, it wants you to be prepared. So for that reason, you may get those dreams. And something is other thing is our brain wants to move towards pleasure. So then your brain also is processing those things and moving us towards pleasure in dreams. So these are the few reasons why we get sometimes some dreams which have pain, and sometimes some dreams which have pleasure.
Right, right. Nice insight, Manohar. I mean, this is something people would connect to, because this is what people do experience daily on a daily basis, right?
Okay.
Now, if you have to give a message to teenagers, because our sleeping patterns and everything changes during that time. Okay.
100%.
And here, most of the people who are watching, I know that they are trainers, coaches, and entrepreneurs, but at the same time, uh, maybe that they have a teenager in their home, right?
Mhm,
Or
mhm.
like that. So, if you have to give any advice to the teenagers regarding sleep, what would you say to them?
Yeah, so this is something very difficult, Arnab, because teenagers, the mindset is they are growing. They are not yet adults, but still at the same time not children, right? So that is where the main challenge comes. And yeah, definitely as teenagers, the culture of video games and these things really matter a lot. The one suggestion which I mean, not a suggestion, but mostly I want to talk about this story. I mean, this not story, this is a scientific study that was done, which is called as the marshmallow experiment. So what happened was, people kids who were in the age of 7 8, okay, they were actually taken to a classroom. Class children were taken away, and then they were given marshmallows. Marshmallow is nothing but a sweet kind of a thing, so sweet chocolate kind of a thing. And then they were told that if you just wait for 15 minutes, right, you will be given another marshmallow. So then what happened was, few kids couldn't resist the temptation. They immediately seeing that sweet itself, they just ate it. But few kids resisted the temptation and waited for 15 minutes, and then they were given another marshmallow. So what happened was, few kids resisted the temptation and waited for 15 minutes,
Mm.
okay. So I think there was some glitch. I was seeing a black screen. Okay. Yeah. So I was talking about the experiment ended there. But then what they really observed, Arnab, is
Yeah, I don't
people
know
who
why
were,
why these glitches are happening. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So people who were able to resist the temptation of marshmallow, eating that marshmallow immediately, right? they were found like in their careers, they were way successful
Yeah.
in their marriages, in their careers, in their jobs, in their businesses, kind of a thing. So we live in a culture where there is so much of instant gratification. So these mobiles, like these games and everything, give that instant gratification. But we also need to learn to delay our gratification. So this is something which, especially in teenagers, I see a lot of instant gratification, these Instagram reels or these TikTok videos, or these kinds of things are really a lot. So when you understand that these things are things that give pleasure in the short term will give you pain in the long run. So you need to understand that.
I don't know why this is happening like this. Uh, there is some genuine glitches that's happening today. Even though I
Okay,
had all the backup, but still there has been certain glitches
that's
happening.
that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. Manohar, please
Yeah,
give your.
yeah. I was just telling about the point, Arnab, is uh, instant grat. We live in an era where there is so much of instant gratification. So you get that instant dopamine rush, dopamine shots, kind of a thing. But you also need to learn to delay your gratification. So once you are able to learn the art of delayed gratification, that becomes a game changer. Is what I was trying to tell.
Right, right, right. Great, great. This is how we can all work together on this. Like supposedly, if like sleeping club. Okay, sometimes we used to go as a to our friend's house or such. Those parties which people does often during their teenage days and even after that. So
Hmm.
many a times it happens that people have this idea that yeah they will be enjoying partying and they will come back and they will come back boozed and all. Many a times addictions affects our sleep. I still remember like at one point of time I also had some sleeping disorders. Okay, because I was into certain addictions during that time. So
Okay.
insomnia is one of the biggest means like challenges which we are facing right now, right? So
Mhm.
what what things would you suggest to our viewers regarding how they can deal with insomnia?
Yeah. So yeah, before talking about what I suggest, so I want to like initially shared the part where I was anxious and having this thing. So I'll talk quickly about how I came back to normal, and then I'll give the suggestion. So the way I worked is I had this issue, and then I consulted a psychologist, and then the psychologist sessions were happening. So these counseling sessions kind of thing were happening, and that was helping a little bit. But then I was diagnosed as anxiety, and I was on anti-anxiety pills. But then the biggest game changer for me was the practice of meditation. So what I did was, before going to sleep, I initially started small, which is like just 3 minutes of meditation. I used to do it for like a week. Okay. And then slowly increased it to 5 minutes, from 5 minutes to 8 minutes, 8 to 12, 12 to 20. So that is how. And what I did was, this 20 minutes before going to sleep was completely dedicated for meditation. So that is how I was able to overcome this thing. So I touched upon this topic of creating your sleep rituals, right? So I just want this part of meditation was a sleep ritual which I created for myself. So I want to share this beautiful scientific experiment called the Pavlov experiment. So what happened was, there was a Russian scientist called Pavlov who was a social psychologist, and what he did is, he wanted to understand how our mind works. And what he did was, he had dogs. Okay, a few dogs, and every time at 12 o'clock or the lunchtime, he used to give them food. But what he did was, before giving food, he used to ring the bell. Initially, for first 3 4 days, nothing happened. But what he observed after 2 weeks was, just the ringing of the bell started salivating the mouth of the dogs. And this is what is called as Pavlov's conditioning experiment. So when you create a boundary for yourself, like the 10:30 or the 11:30 time where you create, so this is how you are conditioning your mind, saying that it is time to end the day. And then creating your sleep rituals is you're associating these rituals to say that it's time to wind down and go to sleep. So the biggest problem with people who suffer from insomnia, Arnab, is they don't create any kind of a boundary. And the biggest thing is they are so desperate for sleep. They just want to sleep. I want sleep. I want sleep. I want sleep. And they're so desperate to do that. And the problem is, like I touched upon initially, the more you try to sleep, the harder it becomes. So sleep has to be effortless. So these are few things which you, if you do, you can get over this challenging phase.
This is very powerful, you know, again it goes back to the same thing as you have started with the beautiful explanation of the electricity and how we humans have become half machines working more. Okay,
Correct.
so in this case, Manohar, there are many people like who just, as you said correctly, who want to sleep effortlessly, right? But in
Mhm.
old age, specifically people who are above 70 or is a senior citizen right now, you can say,
Correct.
they do feel that they are not getting enough sleep. Again, it goes back to the habit. I totally understand that they should have the code of honor, but as it says that we who are young, we can adapt to things much better than those who have been in an habit for so long, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
if you have to means apart from medication, because most of the elders people or the old people, they either have sleeping pills or they go through certain therapy,
Mhm.
and then they go to sleep. Okay, so
Okay.
and it is
Okay.
also preferred by the doctors, because you know the pharmaceutical industry, they, you know about the main things by which they try
Correct.
to make a habit of it. Okay,
Correct.
and that
Correct.
impacts
Correct.
our health. So please give an
Mhm.
insight to all those elderly people, so that at least they feel relaxed and they can effortlessly sleep.
Okay. Okay. So Arnab, so in fact, I was even contacted by few elderly people who were with this thing itself. Like they want to sleep. So what should they do? Like, what is the hack? Okay. So unfortunately, I can't tell you a hack kind of a thing. But one thing which I feel, Arnab, is, yeah, we have to understand one thing is, with age increasing, the the biggest thing is some pains will definitely be there in our body. So pains will be there. So one suggestion which I can definitely give is, there is a practice called as body scan meditation, wherein all you do is you imagine that there is a light of there, so a focus light, let's say on my throat, and then I slowly grow it, go it, and so you can imagine that this is a healing light kind of a thing, and it's healing your body kind of a thing. And for example, let's say that I have a lot of pain in my shoulder, so I just focus in your mind's eye itself, you in your mind's eye itself, you imagine that there is a healing light which is going through my shoulder and healing itself. So this actually helps a lot, because once you are able to calm down your mind, so basically our mind is designed to move us away from pain and move towards pleasure. The biggest problem is people having pain are not ready to accept that pain is there. But actually the thing is, pain is actually, to be really honest, let's say, Arnab, like you fall down, and then you fall down and you fall down on your right hand. Okay, so when you fall down on your right hand, your right hand pains because it's your body is giving an indication saying that I'm not right, you can't use me. So this is the way our body is giving that indication. So if you say that I'll just give a painkiller and then subside that pain and start working, so this is, so it is like you're cheating. You're saying like, instead of work not working, you're completely doing things which are against what your body is giving. So that is when pain is there, you have to first accept that pain is doing some kind of transformation, is doing something good for you, trying to tell you something, and understand the body signals and definitely accept the pain. And this practice of body scan meditation is something which I would recommend.
Great. This is something very new to me, and I feel that our viewers will be getting a lot of means amazing things if they start practicing these things, right?
Yeah.
Because uh, I felt at one point of time that the frequencies, the alpha frequencies, the beta and the theta waves.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are binaural beats also, sound healing
Correct.
also, and
Correct.
through meditative state, we can also go towards sleeping, if we maintain that code of honor of sleeping at
Yes.
time. So
Correct.
would you be able to say something for the viewers who actually is curious to know about the waves, like how can these waves put a more impact in our sleep?
Okay. I'm to be really honest, Arnav, I'm not an expert in that, but from what I know is like you talked about, sticking to that code of honor. I mean, basically, doing that practice regularly, and that is when you attain that state. To be honest, I'm not in that state, so I cannot comment on that.
Absolutely, that's fine. That's absolutely okay. Actually, this niche about sleep, I'm not that much more. I was not more into that, so that's why maybe
Okay, that's okay.
the thing has happened. So, what is your bigger mission in life, Manohar? Like, what do you want for the people, and how you want to impact them?
Okay, yeah, that's a really interesting question, Arnav. Uh, I was actually reading the book by Deepak Chopra, and what Deepak Chopra says is everybody in this planet Earth has a unique talent which he can possess, which he can make the world a better place. Right. So you possess some talent with which you can make the world a better place. So from my experience, what I feel is since I see a lot of people who are either completely oblivious to the fact that sleep is important, or they are in the path where they are completely looking in the wrong direction. So, in fact, I remember this beautiful scene in the movie PK Arnab, where what happens is all the people go and sit near one Swamiji kind of a person who is the main villain in the story. So, a old person comes and then he says that my wife is dying. Doctors have diagnosed that she'll not be there for more than 2 months. So, what should I do? So that the villain in the movie says that you have to go to Kailash Parvat, some place where in the Himalayas, and then go do the darshan, and then ask for mercy, and then your wife will get better. So immediately the main hero PK he just rises and says, "Wrong number, wrong number." So what he says is, if your wife is dying in 2 months, what's the point of leaving her in this 2 months? Instead of that, cherish this two months of time which you have with your wife, and then celebrate those 2 months. So this is something which I was also seeing, Arnab, where people with insomnia, they always want to are so desperate to sleep, so desperate to sleep that they always end up dialing the wrong number, which is like, in fact, to be honest, I also did that. I'm no exception to that. Dialing the wrong number of trying things in desperation, looking for hacks, and not fixing your sleep routines. And the other thing is not if you are dissatisfied with your life. So in fact, I see a lot of things like people like they are dissatisfied with their life, and this actually creates a lot of problems. If you are dissatisfied with your life, either you have to talk, work with someone, or if it is not possible, just put an end to that. So when you are able to do this, then you will be able to sleep better. So in short, my mission is helping people who are dialing the wrong number dialing the right number.
Right. So, guys, from now on, dial the right number. Manohar is here with us. Okay, don't dial the wrong number and again move in the loop of 2 3 months and again come back to find the right number. So he can help you out in many ways by which you will be able to improve one of the major factors, that is sleep. Well, Manohar, tell us something about your journey of being an author,
Okay.
of writing the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Yeah, the reason why I decided on writing a book, Arnab, is right from my childhood, I had this fascination. Like, I should have something. I mean, I used to read books a lot, so I had that fascination that I should also be some kind of write something on that. So, coincidentally, what happened was I was listening to a Udemy course kind of a thing, and where the instructor Hassan Ali says that you can be start writing a book even if you work your full time. So the way I did this is, so I'm a very big believer of one concept called as atomic habits, Arnab. So the book Atomic Habits by James Clear talks about one thing, which is like doing like very small things, but doing them repeatedly. So for example, if you just improve by 0.1% every day, and but you do it every day, at the end of 365 days you will become like 37 times better. So what I used to do is before after going having my dinner, and then what I used to do is I used to spend just 5 to 10 minutes kind of writing the book. So this actually gave me that inspiration, and I used to do this thing for more or less I did for 3 months kind of a thing. I wrote, did all those things, and then it came into a good shape. And that is when I approached an editor and a proofreader, and then I self-published my book.
Right. Nice. This is an amazing journey. Nowadays, many people like are into writing their book, like, and being that authentic person, like you went through that sleepless night and you have expressed that in your book, right? So that is the
Yes.
thing. Like it takes a lot of courage for people to just be vulnerable and open, and then share that with the world. Okay, because
Yeah.
we are all programmed, and means you can totally get it. We are conditioned in such a way that we do not accept our authentic self.
Yeah.
Well, well, Manohar, one more thing that just struck in my mind right now, that is when we are talking about sleep, food habits is also something which complements sleep, right?
Correct.
So, is it that that due to the change that is happening in the world right now, and due to consuming more junk food, that our sleep patterns get disturbed?
Yeah, to a certain extent, definitely sleep plays a very major role, Arnav. I mean, sorry, food plays a very major role in when it comes to sleep. So, like you rightly pointed out, so we live in a thing where we have so many. I mean, everything is camouflaged to actually taste good for the tongue, right? So we live in this thing. So yeah, one of the crucial point to note is when you eat your food, the first thing that happens is our body temperature actually increases. Okay, our body temperature really increases because there's a fire in our stomach that needs to actually digest the food. So the body temperature actually increases. So that is when what happens is, let's say that you are a very late eater. So for example, like in fact I was like that. What I used to do is I used to eat my dinner at 9, 8:30, 8:45, 9 p.m. kind of a thing. So what, and then go to sleep at 10:30 or something kind of a thing. The biggest problem with this thing is uh, like digestion is one of the most energy consuming process. And then what happens is, along with our mind going to rest, our digestion also has to happen. And then when your digestion is done, you can actually go to sleep. So in fact, in the Ayurveda, it is like very clear saying that our body is completely in tune with the nature of the sun. So when, as long as sun is there, right, uh, the fire in our stomach is there. So when the sun has set, it means that the fire is done. So when, if the fire is done, right, you can't actually digest your food much better. So if you are like follow completely Ayurveda, it completely says that before sunset itself you should have your dinner. So that is the recommendation by Ayurveda. But in when it comes to sleeping better, 3 hours before you sleep, right, if you have your dinner, so the major work of the major load of the digestion is done, and that is when you can sleep better. is the recommendation.
Right. No, this is amazing. This is something what I feel that we all, means to be very generic, I would say that we all do not focus on that, focus on the habits which we are having, whether it is food habits or sleeping habits. Okay, so sometimes we sleep in a different posture like this or that, and means that happens all due to our own habits, right?
Correct.
So does any sleeping posture also affects our sleep, like?
Um, yes, to a certain extent, definitely sleeping postures affect. So the way, so in fact, I'm not a very big expert on that. So if the process which I follow is I just sleep on my back, so completely on my back. So that is the reason why. The only thing is when you sleep, you have to make sure that your body is in as much relaxed position as you can. Okay, so if you are not able to relax yourself, that is when you need to correct your posture. So there are I mean, in fact, my wife, if you ask me, she is like, she sleeps on her back and then she keeps turning around and all. So there is in short, there is no one size fits all approach. So if what works for you, if you don't see any pain because you are waking, if you wake up, if you don't see any pain, I feel that's a good enough way of sleeping. So there's no one posture that can be universally applied, is my take on this.
Right, right. Amazing, amazing insights, Manohar. Like, uh, it has been a means since the time we started the whole process which you have explained, right from the habits and then how it has happened, why we are like this. Okay, it has been an abundance insight for me, and I hope our viewers also have enjoyed this a lot because most of the time the things which we ignore are the things we need to give attention to.
Correct.
Most of the time that happens. So Manohar, can you tell us how can people contact you and get into your beautiful system by which you are helping people to sleep better, fitter, without pills
Yes.
and therapies?
So one way to contact me is from my website, manohargrandhi.com. Yeah, and yeah, as with everyone, I am there on all social media. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. So you can find my ID. So I am connected with Arnab. So you can see Arnab's mutual friend, and you can contact me. So this is one thing. And the other way you can contact me is by buying my book on Amazon. It's called My Sleepless Nights: A Story of Victory Over Insomnia. So you can read that book if you are a book lover. So these are the ways you can contact me.
Yeah, and I'll add all the links in the first comment of the of Facebook, and I hope that all of you will be connecting to Manohar in a very strong way, so that when you realize that yeah, you need to sleep better, then only just contact with Manohar. And I think that today's message hardly means like it hits hard more to the old people, because I think it is a necessity for the old people and the senior citizens to sleep better. We are there, we can change our habits, but I think they are the people who needs this the most. So so
It's not exactly, yeah, I do understand that we are much flexible, but habits are, when you create a wrong habit, it becomes very difficult to uproot it also, Arnab. So having the right habits definitely matters.
right. Great, great, great. Any parting message you want to give for our audience, or anything you want to say to our audience so that they connect with you and also impact their own lives?
Okay. uh, Yeah, so like I talked about, the core thing which I want to talk about is setting boundaries when it comes to sleep, having proper sleeping rituals, and then working on the dissatisfactions in your life. Because the thing is, if let's say that you have done just the setting boundaries and creating a sleeping rituals. If you don't work on your dissatisfaction, they will actually bother you and not allow you to have the proper rest or proper sleep. So also you have, I'm pretty sure like every person is there, so some or the other dissatisfaction will be there. So that is part of life. So either you have to work towards it, fix it, or you have to say that this is beyond my reach and I don't want to work on this. So once you are able to set yourself away from that, that helps a lot. And yeah, just as a parting note, I just want to say like on the 16th, I'm doing a workshop on my Facebook group. If anyone wants to join, I'm doing a Sleep the Silent Hero of Success, a workshop. It's a 30 to 45 minutes workshop if anyone wants to join.
Guys, this is the biggest opportunity you have. You have just 5 days. On 16th, Manohar is conducting his workshop in which you will be knowing the intricacies of the sleep, the patterns, and by which you will be able to have a better lifestyle by having a better sleep. So I hope that this would help everyone, and I would request all of you who have been watching this keenly till the end that you connect with me and I'll connect you with Manohar. And finally, I feel that all of you will be able to create that system or that impact within you, so that you can, it will be helpful for you for your daily routine. So, well, Manohar, just stay on board. I'll be
Yeah.
coming very soon. Just I'm just parting this, okay? And thanks a lot for giving your precious time, because it means a lot to me that means anyone who is coming and giving their precious time on the show and just giving impact to so many people.
Yeah. Thank you.
So be on board. I'm just coming in a moment. So that was another amazing episode of the Quantum Abundance Show. And the major thing what I would recommend to all my viewers is that we are all busy in our lives doing something or the other. Either we are coaching, or we are training, or we are into some kind of business, or we are into some job roles. But in the end, what success means to you? For me, I feel that when I'll be able to go to sleep with peace of mind in my with peace of mind, that is success to me. And sleep plays one of the most important role in pushing yourself to the next level. And Manohar is an example. Like he has created that system by which you will be able to 10x your value, 10x your internal system by just learning the system from Manohar. He will be able to help you achieve 10x success by helping you sleep in a proper way. Sleep in a system by which you will be able to create more abundance within yourself and impact the world in a huge way. So I'll be coming up with another amazing episode tomorrow, and hope you will be stay tuned with the show, and just write what you have learned. If you have watched the whole video, what you have learned out of this whole video and how important sleep is to you. Okay, so thanks a lot for joining with us, and I hope you have a splendid time ahead. Thank you. Good night.